Hello gorgeous people! We are today looking at some literary pubs in London. London is home to many old literary greats. You've got the George Orwell.
The things I noticed, how she practices piano on her thigh, imagining the keys inside.
Hi gorgeous people! Today we are going to go on a literary pub tour of London, going to the places that were the haunts of people like George Orwell, Virginia Woolf, Bloomsbury set. First up on the list, I'm not going to go in this one actually, because I'll tell you for why in a minute, is the Newman Arms.
In the silence, but I'm here.
Gorgeous old pub, which actually was a brothel at one point. You can still see up here in the top middle window one of the lovely ladies that would have worked there back in the day. The Newman Arms was a favourite of George Orwell. Nowadays it is a wonderful pie and pint joint. It's got a nice downstairs basement where you can go and get a drink and have good conversations with your friends, and it's nice and quiet. So the reason that we're not going to go in there just now is just because it's a little bit quiet, and there are a couple of kind of more oldie worldy literary pubs that I would like to take you to. However, we are on Rathbone Street, lovely place, good place to go for a pie and a pint. Stay with me and I'll take you inside a few others.
Space between us now, it's just like miles, and I've only ever fit inside the shadows, but I'm here.
Here we have one of my favourite pubs in London, a perfect literary historic building called the Fitzrovia Tavern. Really famous this was with the Bloomsbury set, with George Orwell, with the likes of Virginia Woolf. It's a fantastic historic building. It's actually got 8 bars inside, and that is because back in the day, if you were very well off and gentrified, then you would get to go to one of the nice big bars. If you were more of what George Orwell would say, a proletarian, then you have to go to the right and stick with one of the tiny little bars downstairs. It's still got loads of original fantastic artwork from back in the day all the way up the staircase. They actually valued that the other day, not so long ago, and the value of all of the art was worth £15 million, which is, it just shows, doesn't it, that, you know, they've kept it for all of this time without taking any of the art down. So without further ado, let's head on in and go and get a nice drink.
I'm over here, she's everywhere. 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 I'm over here. Beans telling things I well.
Okay, absolute fail there. So those doors over there were closed. We've got these ones here, saloon bar doors, which we can go into. Upstairs you've got a first floor and dining room.
I'm sure we're still the same. Love the ways you make us home. Would you say if things ain't right? Look away, look away. What's really going on? What's really going on? Would you tell me? Can't you say what's really going on? What's really going on?
Let's go get a drink.
Put things right, let me go. No way of knowing if there's still time. Look away, look away. What's really going on? What's really going on? Would you tell me? Can't you say what's really going on? What's really going on? Look away, look away. say if things ain't right? Would you tell me, can't you say it? Please just talk to me if things ain't fine. Look away, you just look away. Why would you say if things ain't right?
So, literally just a couple of minutes down the road from the Fitzroy Tavern is the Wheat Sheaf, which you can see behind me. So back when the Bloomsbury set, including Virginia Woolf and a couple of other, what do you call them? Boozers? Booze hounds? Is that disrespectful? Back in the day anyway, they would go to the Fitzroy Tavern all the time. Now apparently rumour is the Fitzroy Tavern put their prices up just a little bit too much, and our Bloomsbury set were savvy consumers, always looking to save a few pounds. That is when they started coming here instead to the Wheat Sheaf. So the Wheat Sheaf was apparently a little bit cheaper, a couple less bars. So there wasn't 8 bars, I think there's 3 in here. But still, good place to come, good place to get a drink. Rumour has it that Dylan Thomas actually met his wife in the back of the Wheat Sheaf, sat in the corner there. So we'll go and see if we can get a seat. It is Friday night, and so I doubt we can, but let's have a look. Then was the Wheat Sheaf. Beautiful pub, probably my favourite actually of all the ones we'll go to. However, very, very different vibe to the next few that we're going to be looking at. So we don't just discriminate on writers from way back when. Also got somewhere where you modern TV watchers might enjoy a lot. If anybody has heard of Fleabag, or the I think it's on Channel 4. Channel 4 show Crashing. Then you might be interested in where we're going next. This is actually a little bonus one here, the Black Horse. We are not going to go in there, but it is a gorgeous pub. It once again was a George Orwell pub, and I'm going to be saying this quite a few times because he was a bit of a boozer. We're not going to go in there, but that is also a lovely little bonus stop if you are looking for literary pubs around the Fitzrovia or Bloomsbury area. Anyway, onwards.
Can't get you out of my mind. You're still with me all the time.
So for any keen listeners earlier, you would have heard that I mentioned a couple of shows. Well, the writer, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, apparently wrote them while sat in the bar here. Let's see if I can cross the road without getting hit. Would be a nice achievement. Here we have Soho Theatre and a fantastic bar. They make their own lager, I believe, last time I went in there. Either they make it or there's a very nice barman who was telling me that he made it. Great place to sit and work, but apparently the entirety of Fleabag was actually written at one of the tables in this bar. So fantastic place to sit, soak in a bit of that literary vibe and think up your own new sitcom or show. Soho Theatre, everybody. We're not going to go in there right now. It's a great place to sit and work. It's quite quiet, but I really recommend probably more of like a pub atmosphere for this time of the day. So we are onwards and upwards to another venue, which is pretty close by. but very much recommend it for fans of Phoebe. Okay, final place, I want to say third and final place, probably about sixth and final place, is the French House. Very famous, very well known, big amongst media crowds on a Friday. Apparently it is where Dylan Thomas left a copy of Under Milkwood under a chair there, causing all sorts of BBC producers to panic and try and hunt it out. So yes, big for Dylan Thomas, big for a big literary crowd, really popular amongst, to be honest, media, photographers, actors, all of the like. Great pub, apparently only used to serve beer in half pints to try and control the masses. It also doesn't allow any kind of filming or phones or anything inside. Hence why we won't be going inside. It wasn't just big with literary crowd, also massive with an art crowd. So Salvador Dali was a regular, and randomly Francis Bacon, also big regular there, and slightly unknown fact, was known to actually throw up on this lamppost. Apparently, was the rumour about old Francis. But very, very much recommend going in. Like I say, can't go in and have a drink and film because they're very no electronics, which is absolutely fine, but really recommended. In the middle of kind of Soho meets Chinatown now, so a lot of great places to go. So yes, very recommend the French House as well. Okie dokie then, so that concludes our literary pub crawl of London. Hope that you all enjoyed it and it's given you some inspiration of places to go and have a beverage and live like the literary greats. Thank you for watching, everybody, and have a great rest of your day. Make good choices.
Number one, yeah. Me like it. How she moving real slow when she pulling me close. Me like it. When we kiss and make up, she be getting paper. Me like it. Girl, that body so tight. Gonna be a long night. Me like it. Baby, me no chaser. Nothing can replace us. Okay, yeah. Up and away we go. I can never find nobody like you, my baby.